So in this video we are going to list all the properties that are on demand. Okay, so what do I mean by on demand? Okay, so if you remember in one of those videos we had listed all the properties whose are featured. Okay, so whose the property of is featured is true within our database. Okay, so basically people pay extra money to our website, that is Easy Homes, to advertise their property on the home page. Okay, so it is somewhat similar to this, but we are showing those properties who's receiving a lot of messages, okay, as a property owner. So let's say this property has been receiving most of the messages, so we want to show this property in another section, okay, by saying on demand properties and listing at most maximum 3 of them. Okay, so that user can have a look at those properties, because they are actually on demand, and usually people, if there's more demand, people would get attracted to that particular product, right? So that's what the feature which we are going to implement. So if you like to try this on your own, so you can just go ahead and do this. You can just query on the property which has most amount of messages and then display those messages on here, okay, by using this particular section as a template that we built in the one of those videos behind. Okay, and also we'll be displaying a call to action section just like this, so that it will just be more attractive and probably take an action to click on exploring more properties. So let us do all of that in this video. So let's get started. So back to our code, let's go to the home page, and we are visiting this page after a long time. Okay, so in one of those videos we had created a server action to fetch all the featured properties whose is featured value is true. Okay, so we just want to do something similar to this. Okay, but not to query those properties that are featured, but those properties who's having maximum amount of messages. Okay, so we can just create another variable, let's say on demand properties, and set this equal to await that db. Okay, so the Prisma client, the database itself. So that is we are going to access the property model, and then dot find many. Okay, so inside we are going to use the include clause. Okay, so now we just want to get the count of all those properties that are having most amount of messages, right? So for that we can use the underscore count property. Okay, so this is from the Prisma documentation. If you don't know, you can just have a look at that. So we use a select again. Okay, so we use the select, and then what do you want to select to make a count of that? So that is the messages, right? So you also get TypeScript support here, and set that to true. Okay, so, and also we want to include the images. Okay, so the images, so include clause is already there, so we can also put in images and set that to true. Let's have a look at what we get for on demand properties. So let's console log and have a look. All right, so once I save this and have a look at my home page and just try to refresh, so yeah, for a moment I thought there was an error. So let's now have a look at our console, and we should be able to get all those properties. So here we are getting all the on demand properties. Okay, so we are not getting those properties that are on demand, but we are only getting the count of the messages. Okay, you see that this property, what's its name, driftwood villa, has a message of 1. Okay, and this one has messages 0. So we get all the properties with messages count. Okay, so now we just need to put an operation on this particular array, and to get those properties that have most amount of messages at the top of the list, and then grab the first 3 of that. Okay, so let's create a variable called on demand or let's rename this to properties with message count. All right, and then set this to on demand properties. All right, and set this equal to this property with message count, and then we just need to sort on that list. Okay, so that is basically an array. So properties with messages count dot sort. Okay, so this is an array method, so which will only be applicable for arrays, and we just need to get those 2 comparison elements, that is a and b, and then we want to sort them by a minus a dot, sorry, this is a object, right? So we need to access the particular count method. So a dot underscore count, and then dot message. Okay, so this has another property called message dot messages, and then minus that with b dot count underscore dot messages. Alright, so this will give us all the on-demand properties, and we just need the top 3. So we can use the slice method on arrays and to get the top 3, that is from 0 to 3. Alright, so now if we log the on-demand properties on our console, so if we go right at the bottom, so we should be able to get that. Okay, so let's go and refresh this page and just go back, and sorry, I just made a mistake. So this should be b minus a. Okay, sorry for that. So once I save this and try to have a look, okay, so yeah, so I see the top one first, because this property has just one messages, and the other two, and this one has one message and this one has 0. Okay, because this is because we are asked for 3. Okay, so what was the one which was left out? So the top of that, so that will be here within our list. Okay, so now we just need to display them within our home page. Okay, so let's now go right below this property, the featured properties. So what we can just do is we can just duplicate this particular section and just modify that to display our on-demand properties. Okay, so instead of passing featured properties within our property cards, we just need to display the on-demand properties. Okay, so let's go ahead and duplicate this, and yes, we don't need the featured properties class name. Okay, so this will just give us the highlighting within our that section. Okay, so this should just say section and container, and without the padding thing, and then we show the heading as properties on demand. So let's rename that to properties on demand. Alright, and after that let's change the subtitle of something like checkout our most popular properties that are high on demand. Alright, so you can just name anything as you want. So once that's done, now we can just replace this featured properties with the on demand properties. Alright, and I guess we don't need the view properties thing because it doesn't look relevant to this section. So once I save that and try to go back, we should be able to see those properties on demand. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Since this was the property which I just messaged, okay, so just for the sake of testing, so we display this property over here, and this is the second one which I just created just for testing purposes, and this one doesn't have any messages. So since it was at the top of the list, so this appeared here. Okay, so these are all the properties on demand. So very simple. So if you have done this by own, then congratulations, then you most of whatever I have taught up till this point. Okay, so let's now go ahead and show the call to action section, which will just as I told in the demo which I showed you, so it will just show us a purple background with one image and just some appealing text, and then a button to take us to the property page. So let's go back to our code, and right below the the on-demand properties, let's create a div with the class name of again section and container padding. Okay, and another class name for CTA for call, which means call to action. Okay, so basically this container padding means if we are want to show the entire width, okay, within the home screen, okay, so that without any margins on the left. Okay, so it's giving us padding instead of margin. Okay, so whichever it is just container, then that is just margin, okay, without any padding. So let us put in a design row, because for 2/3 we are just going to show the text and the button to view more properties, and then for the remaining we just want to show an image. Okay, so just it looks more appealing. So let us use a row from design and give a gutter of 32 by 32. So this is basically a spacing between the CSS grid that we are using. So inside that, let's give a column, and this is going to take in the entire width for extra small screens, that is 24, and for medium screens and above it is going to show us that is we are going to show 2/3 within the screen, so that is 2/3 is 16, right? So inside this column we just want to show in the text and the button. Okay, so for the text we can give it inside a class name called CTA container. Alright, and inside that providing a h2 tag and saying ready to find your dream home. And a question mark, and yeah, so let us put this inside a strong tag, and just to highlight this part of text, so putting that inside strong tags. Alright, so once I save this and try to have a look, and yeah, so we get this purple background and we get this text over here. Okay, so for some reason we do not see the class name of Rubik being applied, okay, because the font which we had set up custom from Next.js, so not been applied over here because we are just directly using the h2 tag, right? So it doesn't apply directly to h2 tag, so we can just manually give this a class name of that is Rubik.class name. Okay, so this is coming from our custom fonts, so we just need to import that. So I'm going to auto import and give this a class name. Alright, so that will apply the particular font. So if we try to refresh this, you see that we have changed the font, and also let's capitalize these two letters. Alright, so if you feel this part of video is boring, so you can just go ahead and skip this and just try to copy paste the particular section from our the source code for this project. Okay, so once that's done, we can now show a button. Sorry, before the button, let's put a subtitle right below the h2 tag with a paragraph of class name, that is CTA subtitle. Alright, and again we need to use a Rubik.class name over here. Okay, so this should be inside template strings, so let's change that to a template literal so that we can add in values dynamically. So let's change this to $ curly braces Rubik.class name. Okay, so alright, so once that's done, inside this let us put in a text. So let's close this off and put in a text of we offer a wide range of properties to suit all your needs. Alright, and let's give a line break here, and after that let's put in whether you are looking for to buy or sell or even rent. So buy, sell or rent, we are here to help. Okay, so just some text which is catchy and forces the user to view more properties. Alright, so once that's done, we can just save this and have a look. Yeah, there we go. So let's put a full stop here, and after this let us put in a button with a link tag to navigate to our properties page. So right below this paragraph tag, let's put in a link from next link and give this a href of /properties. Alright, so inside this let's put in the &design button and give this a type of primary. Oops. Alright, and after this we can give a size of large and give this a class name of view button, view btn, and put in a message of explore properties. Alright, so once I save this and try to go back, we should be able to see the button. Okay, so I don't know for what it doesn't re-render the page, so manually I need to refresh. So yeah, we see the text explore properties, and now let's show the image over here within another column of this and design grid. So let's put in another column right below the one which we created, and this is going to take the entire width for extra small screens, and for medium screens and above it's going to just take 8. Okay, so before it was 16, now it's 8 because it's going to occupy 1/3 of it. So inside this column right now let's import the image from Next.js. Okay, so not the image from OnDemand but from Next.js. Okay, so this will do the optimization for us, and the source is going to be the call to action image. Okay, so the image is available within the source for this project, so within my GitHub. So if you want, you can just use that or anything of your choice. So that is available within the public folder. So where is that? It should be right here, public, and then images. Okay, so we have this image for call to action, so let us use that image. So let's import that right at the top. So import, that is, let's say it's CTA image, and that is coming from, that is public / images. All right, so the CTA image /cta.avi file, and we can use this as a source for this image. So CTA image, and we just need to pass in the entire object just like that, and we can just now pass in few more properties like the width and height. So I told you the trick, right, how we can use the maximum space available. So by providing width 0 and height 0, and then use a sizes prop and set that to 100 viewport width. Okay, so sizes and use 100 viewport width, and let's give the alt of about us, and give this a class name of image, CTA image. Okay, and use another class name to expand. Okay, just to expand to the available space, and let's close this image tag like so. And yeah, so if I save this and go back, so I should be able to see the image here. Okay, so let's do a as usual manual refresh and try to see. Yeah, there we go. So we see the image, the call to action section is ready now. So if you know what is the reason, like why do I need to manually refresh, so please let me know in the comments, so that I can just know, because I don't know why, because for my other Next.js projects it doesn't happen like this. So this is one exceptional project. So anyway, so our home page is right now looking good, so with our properties on demand and our call to action section. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.